Hi class, welcome back. I hope you're having a wonderful day. My camera is probably going to act up. My computer wants a nap. You'll get your nap after computer. Let's just get through this without freezing. This thing is, it was being a little testy with me. So I'm doing some dandelion tea. Make sure you're doing your herbal tea. Cleanse your body and get all the nutrients you can because you need it to study. Using this mental energy is still energy, right? It's even more so than anything. And I gotta vacuum and wash my floors today. And I do it old school. I don't use that that Swiffer crap. I tried that before. I don't like it. I like a bucket with some gloves. Actually, I gotta go buy some in some more file folders. Fill my bucket and my sponge. Have some music on, and that gets me going. I actually like cleaning. It's therapeutic. I'm actually gonna put this also on BitChute. How you all doing on BitChute? It's been a little while. I've been super busy, but this is something that not enough people know. Endorsements and different types of endorsements. And I've noticed some people have probably, you know, a lot of us who are doing this for the right reasons. We want to learn. We want to do things right. And you don't get taught in school much about endorsements. You get taught the parts of a check, right? The bare bones minimum. But there's different parts. And maybe you know, when people are dealing with their payment coupons or whatever negotiable instruments, right, that we're dealing with, maybe it's just not getting routed to the place it needs to go. You know, it could be that. It could be we're not endorsing them correctly because there's different types of endorsements. Restrictive endorsement restricts or limits further transfer of title. You're signing over the rights to that instrument because some people look at it like that's the interest on our credit, on your statement of account, and a positive number, and you're signing your rights over to it so they can deposit it and credit into your account with them, right, for the goods and services that were provided. Right, so yeah, so that's probably it. You know, the types of endorsing that we're doing or not doing. And so they can endorse it in different ways and flip it, and they never credit our account. You know, a lot of times it's supposed to write the account number, who's it supposed to made out to, so it's kind of open-ended. So they probably cash it the way they want to, and then just, you know. So these are just things, even in everyday practice, you know, for BitChute, I don't talk too much about, you know, some of the work that I do. You know, people will probably be bored to death on BitChute. I don't know how people vibe with me on BitChute, but it's fine. I mean, information like this is key for everyone to learn. Everyone deserves to learn it. And I learn something new every day, or something old rather, or I like to say I rediscover things every day because we're really discovering things over again. So we have for deposit only blank endorsements. We're just giving these things out blank, guys. It's like too open-ended. Signature of payee only. Interesting. Does not restrict further transfer. So if we're signing on the account, like it's supposed to be paid to our account, then you gotta write the number of your account. Say it be a gas bill of exchange, an electric. You gotta put the number on there too. And you need to qualify your signature. That's why you see people put paid to the order of, without recourse. Because I hear now it's like, we're in this war of like the real USA versus the corporate US, right? We really are, you know, and they have the Trading with the Enemy Act and all these things in place. So we got to show that we're non-combative, and it's all about law of contracts. Now that is the supreme law of the land right now. It's just contract laws, knowing the different you know, the laws of negotiable instruments. So until certain things are in play. Obviously, correcting our status, we always stand on the organic constitution, right? Especially Article 1, Section 3. And we are of age, and we are authorized representatives of these estate/trusts. But you got to know who you are, because I keep seeing that term, authorized they are the trustees, the U.S. trustees, the agents or whatever, but we're dealing with a lot of private corporations, which the U.S. also is too. Some people saying it was incorporated in the 1920s in the state of Florida, and that they all became privatized, which I'll show you a little bit of the case that could help, right? That will back up our positions, because this is a collective movement. You could be doing this in your state, I'm doing this in mine. And once they see us all putting our minds together, you know, they got their horrible hive mind, well, we have ours too, you know. Even it's like telepathic. Even we don't even have to speak. I'm not worrying about saying too. Sometimes I could be thinking something or have a question and someone else answers it in a video, and I'm just so blessed, because that's like one less thing I had to do, because like we're all researching so much, right? So when you qualify your endorsement, it frees the endorser, original payee, from future liability if drawer does not honor the check. So they become the new payee, right? So it keeps, so you see, like we were talking about the allonge, right? Dealing with loans. There's endorsement after endorsement. Yeah, and this is all, you know, first and foremost, praises to the Most High, because this came to my mind today. Psalm 27:6. We always need His guidance in everything we do, right? That's a given. And now shall my head be lifted up above my enemies round about. Therefore will I offer in His tabernacles sacrifices of joy. Exactly. So when people say, oh, you gotta just love everyone like we don't have enemies. Yeah, I'm not saying you gotta go out and beat them up and be rude. There's a way to deal with people. You know, there is a way to be like, yeah, ignorant, I ain't gonna deal with you anymore. Thank you very much. But, you know, we're here with our shields, right? We're just gonna block, boom, boom, if I got a boom. And the Most High is like a defense too. So we're just shielding ourselves, you know, because they try to get us in more ways than we want to admit. Right, guys? Right, guys? So Psalm 27, verse 6. So kinds of endorsements. Just let's read a little bit. I don't want to make this long because I got to go out and get more office supplies. You already know. Kinds of endorsements, because it says 7. Of course, this number 7 is always coming up for me, but there's 7 kinds of endorsements. Endorsement in blank, endorsement in full, partial endorsement. Look, conditional or qualified endorsement, restrictive endorsement, facultative endorsement, forged endorsement. Is that what they do? Endorsement in blank. If the endorser signs his name only, the endorsement is said to be blank. A blank endorsement is also called general endorsement. The name of endorsee is left blank. The endorsee signs the instrument. Instrumental, so endorsed is like an instrument payable to bearer. The property in the instrument passes by mere delivery of the instrument. Therefore, where the holder of an instrument does not mention the name of any party, but merely signs his name without any words, the instrumental is said to be endorsed in blank. A blank endorsement specifies no endorsee. The negotiable instrument endorsed in blank is payable to the bearer thereof, even though originally payable to order. Isn't that interesting? So whoever's with the instrument, so that could get really funky, right? If it is delivered to any person, property therein passes. It is negotiable by mere delivery, and the bearer is entitled to its payment. Specimens of endorsements in blank: Henry Brown, Thomas Robinson, Jonathan George. Like, that's how people are usually doing it, right? Endorsement in full is the next one. If the endorser signs his name and adds a direction, like a provision, which a lot of people do, but again, just know the syntax. This could help for the ones that that seem to not go through the way we would like. I've had that happen too, so I had to go back and like work with my my different technicalities, and this came up. So right here it says, okay, let's start again. Endorsement in full. If the endorser signs his name and adds a direction to pay the amount mentioned in the instruments to or to the order of a specific person, the endorsement is said to be in full. Or specified person, I saw that. The person so specified is called the endorsee of the instrument. These are examples of specimens of endorsements in full. Pay to Thomas Robinson, or order dash James Richardson. Or like pay to George French, or hyphen. It could be the company name, right? And or the treasury, or your account, or the corporation, you understand? So obviously depending on what you're dealing with, but this is an interesting thing where one person specifies the name of another person to whom money is to be paid and signs the instrument. It is a case of endorsement in full. That is to say, the endorser directs a specific person to whom money is to be paid. Endorsement in full is also known as special endorsement. No particular form of words is necessary. Intention to transfer the document to a particular person should be sufficient to make it a valid endorsement. Conversion of endorsement in blank into endorsement in full. The holder of a negotiable instrument endorsed in blank may, without signing his own name, by writing above the endorser's signature a direction to pay any other person as endorsee, convert the endorsement in blank into endorsement in full. The holder does not thereby incur the responsibility of an endorser. Any holder of an instrument may put his own or someone else's name above the signature of the endorser and convert the endorsement in blank into an endorsement in full. Sure they know all this. As the holder does not put his signature, he incurs no liability. Effects of an endorsement in blank when converted in full. If a negotiable instrument, after having been endorsed in blank, is endorsed in full, the amount of it cannot be claimed from the endorser in full, except by the person to whom it has been endorsed in full, or by one who derives title through such person. The parties to the instrument cannot claim the amount from the endorser in full, but the person who is the bearer of the instrument can claim the amount from drawer, acceptor, or the endorser of that instrument in blank. Thus, a negotiable instrument endorsed in blank, even after being converted in full, remains a bearer instrument and is negotiable by delivery thereof. Partial endorsement. No writing on a negotiable instrument is valid for the purpose of negotiation if such writing purports to transfer only a part of the amount appearing to be due on the instrument. But where such amount has been partly paid, a note to that effect may be endorsed on the instrument when may then be negotiated for the balance. I find that very interesting, guys. I'm not going to bore you all that, but just to know that there's the different types and that we can see all the different shenanigans that they can do. Right? I like how they put at the bottom, accounting is fun. It can be, right? It can be, because this is the stuff that is so key to know. And then I was looking up, what is a restrictive endorsement? This is accountingtools.com. Pretty good website. And the definition, a restrictive, so I think we'd want the full one, right? The qualified one, so it routes to the right one. But this could apply too for deposits only, things, because we know how they monetize these instruments, you know, checks are also securities, right? So a restrictive endorsement limits the use of a financial instrument, usually a check. The result of a restrictive endorsement is that a financial instrument is no longer a negotiable instrument that can be passed from the stated payee to a third party. An example of a restrictive endorsement is the for deposit only stamp used by most companies on the back of a received check. This stamp effectively limits further action on the check by the stated payee to only being able to deposit it. A customer may send a supplier a check payment on which it is written the words "in full payment of account," "in full payment of account," or similar terms. This is not precisely a restrictive endorsement, since it is not restricting the further negotiability of the check. However, it may have a substantial impact on the ability of the supplier to obtain payment on any remaining unpaid balance on the customer's account, since depositing the check may be considered acceptance of the terms added to the check. And that's when people cite the USC codes, right? I'm not sure if it's 15, but, you know, on negotiable instruments, you know, you can write provisions. And if you didn't know about this case is key. You can find it. This is the best one. Don't click on this doc share crap. I think this is a virus or a wannabe one. They're freaking trash, man. This case, Anti-Corruption Society, you want the first click. Clear Trust Company versus the United States, case 1942, right? Because a lot of things happened post 1938. And you click on here, gives you a little summary. It's great, you can download it. I think I have the original case. I have so many PDFs and thousands of master files that I didn't want to have to go dig and look for all that again. But I'm going to print this out because it's only 2 pages and I like how it's summarized, so I wanted to show you guys how to get it and how that when governments, right, deal with private currency, they are reduced in status to mere corporations, which the United States is. So there is a difference of like the real United States government and this private corporation that tries to purport false debts when they're the ones going through the bankruptcy, right? So you just got to know, like, it's, you know, we're looking through, it's like beyond the looking glass, you know, we're going to step through it, but we can see both worlds. We're living in both worlds, the natural and the artificial, you know what I mean? So you have, like, this admiralty supplanted on the common law, so you have to know. It's kind of weird. It's almost like we're all like these children in this, like, and we're playing. We have like these boats floating in a pool. Like, we're not the boat, like our vessel, our straw man. It's the boat that we're playing with in the pool. And we control it with the authorized reps, you know. And I love how, like, Patrick Devine's, like, you know, at a certain age, you're a U.S., you know, trustee agent, you know, not agent, U.S. trustee authorized representative. Those are the, we have authorized, we have the authorization, baby. You know, to do a lot of the things on our own, because when we're dealing with these so-called private entities or U.S., we get it really confused. We get it because we're feeding the wrong side. You know, there are two sides. You know, and people think that entity in D.C. is like, that's it. You know, the real government is somewhere else. You know, it's here, I hear. But, you know what I'm saying, they're low-key. They're really low-key. But they're doing a lot behind the scenes. So Clearfield Trust Company versus United States 318. So this case 1942. Governments descend to the level of a mere private corporation and take on the characteristics of a mere private citizen, where private, corporate, Federal Reserve notes, commercial paper, and securities is concerned. For purposes of suit, such corporations and individuals are regarded as entities entirely separate from government. Bank of U.S. versus Planters Bank 9 Wheaton 22 U.S. 904 6 LED. Is it up for you guys more? Let's get that all in your business. There we go. So you can see better. When governments enter the world's commerce, they are subject to the same burdens as any private firm or corporation. United States versus Burr, 309 U.S. 242. The Clearfield Trust Company versus United States. Yep, take notice, people, because it is a public policy decision following after the changes in the legal system in 1938 by the Erie Railroad versus Thompson case, where earlier decisions of the Supreme Court based upon public law are not honored in court of legislature nature, created to administer, look at that, the bankruptcy of the nation in itself, of the corporate government's creditors. The use of private commercial paper, debt, currency, or Federal Reserve notes removes the sovereignty status of governments of we the people and reduces them to an entity. That's why I call them entity. That's why you'll hear me use that word a lot, entity, right? Because you see it in these cases, rather than a government. So when they say, no, it's not even a government, right? And like any corporation or person, an entity cannot compel performance on its corporate statutes, right? So this is why when you're like, where's the these are the cases that need to be cited. Clearfield Trust Company right here, and the Erie Railroad, because it's citing that one from, says it right there how they changed the legal system. Erie Railroad versus Thompson's case. So it tells you it cannot compel performance on its corporate statutes or corporation rules unless it, like any other corporation rules, like any other is the holder in due course of some contract or commercial agreement between it and the one who demands for performance are made, and is willing to produce said document and to enter same into evidence before trying to enforce its demands, called statutes. See, this is what I need too, because I got my same, you know, this goes into the U.S. citizen. I mean, this is a really great little sheet, guys. This is a great sheet. I'm trying not to make this too long today. I know a lot of people don't like long vids. I get it. I get it. I don't like long vids either. Am I stuck? Sometimes I'm stuck. I hope I wasn't stuck before. Because my computer wants a nap soon, like wants me to shut it down all the way and like power off. I think I had it on overnight. It doesn't like that. It doesn't like that. It gets really tired. But yeah, I have all these yeah, I had this really great reference too. I could do it another time because I don't want to overwhelm with too much information in one video. That's for my own personal study. But this is a great sheet to have if you have a court case you're dealing with, a debt dispute you're dealing with. There's so much, you know, because you think they have all this status, right? You know, or taxes, or not saying not do this, not do that. I'm saying research. That's why I like doing vids, like reading the definitions, going into the law, like understanding what is going on. And then you'll know, hey, this is what I can and cannot do. That's all. Because I tell people you need to stay in honor, or you don't have a leg to stand on. Right? You can't meet fire with fire, right? Just because they, you know, gave us that type of heat. You know what I mean? We gotta show that we're not like them. Okay? We're on a higher frequency. We're on a higher plane of existence, right? You know, you're coming from the living, right? They're coming from the world of the dead. You got the world of the dead, commercial world, and the living, right? So if you just stay in that spiritual mindset with the Most High and let Him be your ultimate shield, you're going to be okay. Okay? So it says, you know, unless, you know some things, because the U.S. citizens, they're presumed... It says right here, to be U.S. citizens by the bureaucrats employed in the administration of our corporate nation's bankruptcy, unless we remain outside of the pledge made by the administrators of the respective state governments acting in the corporate capacity, wherein they, without power of attorney from anyone, pledge the life, labor, and property of their citizenry as surety. Exactly. A lot of people saying get a power. I think I've done that with them, but I will do that revocation of power of attorney. You'd want to have something like that probably on file, because they try to act like they have POA over probably the whole estate, and we got to be like, no, you don't. You know what I mean? You can work with me if you're honorable, you know, but you're not going to just get POA and then just jack me, right? And, like, that's, you know, game got to recognize game, right? Ugh. Without so pledge the life, labor, and property of their citizenry as surety for the debt obligations of the legislative democracy, the demonocracy. Where was that in the Constitution? Where was that word? Right? Created by, and that's what they did. They used it. They had the powers to create, you know, outside entities. So that was their in. It was Article 1, Section... Is that Section 10? I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. But Clause 17 of our national Constitution. Without offering the alert citizenry of remedy from consequences of the administrative presumption that the citizenry would be behind the state administrators in the above pledge. Those administrators could be charged with fraud, so to cover their back end from such charges from the handful of alert suri juris, I don't use the word sovereigns, the Most High is the sovereigns, we call ourselves non-citizen nationals, okay, you know, when they try to accuse you of being a sovereign citizen, I'm like, what's that? That's not even a thing, you know, because they'll try to play you. Again, just trying to push another false term on you like that U.S. citizen. You might object to having their life, labor, and property pledged as surety for an equitable debt obligation in private commercial paper, which Congress could borrow in the name of the United States, which that entity created by Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, calls itself as distinct from the Union of States, now referred to as America. I'll let you read all that. That could really help with a lot of people with some of the wording and some of the logistics. Because remember yesterday I was like, it's all about the logistics. It's all about the logistics. You got to have it written down. You got to just have it in your mind. I was telling people that yesterday. If you're watching me on BitChute, that's the kind of stuff that I do. Love freeing people. It's all about learning the commercial worlds that you're living in. It's not just the natural. There's so much supplanted in one. You know, you can be in the same space with someone and be in a different dimension, right? So you know, people like me, I'm not the first, I'm not the last. I just want to encourage people, and I want to teach people stuff that I wasn't taught myself, you know, and it sucks, you know, learning this stuff now in my 40s, guys, that I should have known in my 20s. So if you guys are in your 20s and you're learning this stuff now, just imagine how much more progressive your children are gonna be, and how much more quickly you're gonna be set up. You know, by the time I'm set up, I'll be, you know, yeah, I'll be very blessed if I'm an old lady and I just die in peace in a nice, you know, little spot with my land, right? So I can die with some dignity. How long was I freezing for? This thing, it likes to freeze. I guess I gotta go. Because it's gonna act funny this whole time, right? Oh boy. Sorry if I froze. Sorry if I froze. I wanted to say bye. Thank you again. Have a great day. Don't stress yourself too hard about worrying about all of this studying. It can get really overwhelming. This verse came into my heart today. Keep it into your remembrance. Just know that the Most High, He's going to shield you from all this craziness. And, you know, each and every day you're going to rediscover something that's going to help you on your journey, right? To get to where you need to be, right? And, you know, this is the real Underground Railroad going on, guys. A lot of people, they can't see it for what it is. But you know what? You can feel it for what it is, right? That's why there's so much distractions on TV. That's why the earth is like shaking, right? Because there's definitely a movement happening. The Most High is doing it, and so much truth is coming out that was suppressed for a long time. So please look up the different kinds of endorsements, because there's obviously more than one, right? And we've been doing the endorsement in blank. So you have endorsement in full, partial endorsement, your conditional or qualified endorsement, your restrictive endorsement, your facultative endorsement, and your forged endorsement. Yeah, right, that's a mouthful. There's that 7 again. I'm always getting that number 7. Pretty wild stuff, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to shut down my computer so it can actually work properly, so it doesn't keep freezing on me. I'm sorry if I looked a little funny. Hey, it is what it is, right? I'll talk to you soon, guys.